Kaleo, I hope you're not talking because you're on mute.
I am not talking. Yo, this is crazy. CB, can you hear me? Check
I,
1, 2.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh my God. All right, welcome to We Are Something Else, episode 167. 89 earthquake. And you would think that that's really what happened because everything is just jacked up at the moment. But you know what? We're gonna get through it. I'm having like delays still, so it's got to be an update. I'm thinking that I missed. But look, CB, we are back with our Black Business series tonight. About time. E. Rich is coming soon. I'm assuming he's having some technical difficulties too. But look. Typically we have the guest on already. But I wanted to do something first because I did not want this moment to overshadow his moment. It's been a tough 8 hours or so, CB. Found out a really good friend of mine passed away in a motorcycle accident last night. Found out this morning. So I want to dedicate the show to Chase Cliette. Really good dude, father, family man. And look, it was tragic news that I heard this morning. So this show is dedicated to Chase Cliette, and we are going to get through the show. Technical difficulties and all. So I'm looking backstage. I see Kenny has his camera off. So Kenny, if you can hear me and you're right there, as soon as you cut your camera on, there we go. We're gonna bring you on. So without further ado, CB has our Black Business Series guest, Mr. Kenny from Kenny's Characters. Welcome to the show, Kenny.
Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Look, first of all, I just want to say thank y'all for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to have some fun with y'all tonight, man.
Absolutely. Look, we're gonna get through these technical difficulties. But anyways, for those who don't know, we haven't done a Black Business Series in a while. We were on a good streak during the pandemic. We knocking them out what's that, like six months worth of Black Business Series guests like in a row.
It's pretty serious.
Exactly. But so now we are getting back to it. And the whole point of the Black Business Series was we were in the pandemic and a lot of people were suffering, or, we wanted to just check in with our folks that were business owners, small business, big business, mainly the Black ones, to see how they were faring in the pandemic. And we found out that actually they were faring very well because we are survivors. We know how to maneuver. So that's how this became a thing. But now, look, we are back and we have Kenny's Characters on. So with all that said, CB, how was your day? How's everything going? I know I wasn't in office today, but so what was the pulse? What's going on?
I mean, it's weird in the DMV right now because it was 80 plus degrees again. So even though in the office tried to get up to the penthouse area during lunch, get some sun, because this is the kind of weather you wish you weren't working a lot of the times, or at least doing what we do for our 9 to 5. And it's tax season, so that's like the busiest time of the year for me. So I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm ready for the weekend, man. And I'm excited to talk to Kenny for the next hour or so.
Let's do it. Okay, now we're gonna try to bring E. Rich in. I see him backstage. All right, E. What's good?
What up?
Can you hear us?
What up? Yeah.
You there? Perfect. Look, this is happening. All right, so E, you just joined us. So we just brought Kenny and CB's talking about how his week is going. How's your week going, E? Before we get going.
Mine is this trash ass headset that was supposed to connect and all that good stuff. That you know what? I'm gonna holler at the tech team tomorrow because we did this update, right? Because we got these Lenovo laptops from work, and typically they push updates, right? You're supposed to restart. Like our stuff is crazy. We have to restart our computer twice a day because of all the updates that we have to our computer, right? But they pulled this thing where a hard stop, you had to update it at this particular moment yesterday. And of course, it was for hardware issues. Well, it effed up everything else. So now my headset don't work. It's supposed to be noise canceling. I hear everything, and then it connects. It said it connected to a phone, there, it's not. I don't even have the Bluetooth connected to my phone, so somebody else's phone just randomly got this Jabber 75 right now. So I'm like, bro, you know what? I'm done with this. So we going old school. But Kenny, my apologies, brother. But I'm here. I assure you that I will make it up in my segment today. That's going to cause some controversy. So.
Oh yeah, that's all good. But like I said,
That
pleasure
part.
to meet you. I know you couldn't hear, or you could hear first. A pleasure to meet you, and I'm happy to be here, man. So hopefully the tech issues get worked out. It's all good out here.
All right.
Yeah.
And with that said, let's just go ahead and let's get into this. Let's wrap. All right. Tennessee 3. Now this happened last week, but we didn't report on it. But some things have developed, so we might as well just do it now and just figure out what's going on. I know E probably has some stuff to say. Anyways, Gloria Johnson, Justin Pearson, and Justin Jones. Tennessee 3. So these are voted lawmakers in the state of Tennessee. Now, why these three are being brought up is because, one, they're Democrats, and there was a protest that was led by the three of them. Or maybe Justin Pearson and Jones and Gloria Johnson were standing in solidarity with her brothers protesting as well, but I think it was led by the other two on the floor of the House. Well, so anyways, both Justins were expelled for leading this protest, right? And the protest was even called a tantrum. They were being said to have thrown a tantrum with bullhorns on the floor. Even compared their protesting to worse than the insurrection. All this rhetoric I'm giving you can kind of tell the type of people that were saying all these things. So the two were expelled, except Gloria Johnson. Well, they asked Gloria Johnson, why didn't you think you were expelled? Well, she kept it real and said, well, I'm pretty sure because the color of my skin kept me in the game. So, but both Justins, Pearson and Jones, have been temporarily reappointed to their positions that were vacated, and there will be a special election held soon for them to be voted back in. So let's start with all that. I'm gonna give E the floor first. E,
you sure you want me to
go ahead? Kick it off.
Start off the show this way. All right. Well, seeing as I had technical issues, so I'm already angry now. Listen, man, this country don't love us. They don't love our protests because what we do is what they don't like. And to add on to what you said was the protesters were actually students. They were kids. They were kids who were fed up with the fact that they have to deal with mass school shootings. So just the simple fact that it was their appointed politician or their leader that was just so happening to be in the house, but yet the kids were all outside doing the same thing, peaceful protests. Again, the key word is peaceful. It's amazing that when the minority begins to talk, it speaks louder than what who when they talk, because they make all the stuff happen. They write the book. They wrote all that shit that is so old that is still in there for the reasons that it is for them to stay in the power in the place that they are. In the sense that this is why I said, hopefully this younger generation, they have the ability to see the stuff that we didn't get a chance to see. Why? Because we weren't watching the news as kids, right? Like I think our parents kind of shunned us away from watching the news because it was always bad stuff going on. I mean, we knew what was going on, but really, like, we wouldn't have saw this, back when we were younger, that the Tennessee, was going through this type of situation. Now all the kids see it and they realize that if they band together and understand that they can make something happen. And again, like I said, that whole pandemic situation when when that whole situation happened, and you saw more people of that didn't look like us that were outside than it was us. You know what I'm saying? You have to kind of put yourself in that position of, you know, these kids really have to put it together because they see what they're up against. And unfortunately, a lot of them is, you know, it's Chad's dad. You know what I'm saying? Chad got to go against his dad. Chad has to go, you know, unfortunately, you know, Lisa has to go against Karen, her mother. You know what I mean? So ultimately, you know, it still comes down to this country's never going to love us. They always view us as angry. They always view us as, you know, a threat when what they were doing. And I think one of the key things that I'm going to shut up was one of the council members asked, like, what do you mean by it was a certain portion of what he was protesting or what the chant was? And he was like, well, if you listen to it, Dr. King said the same thing. You just choose not to hear what exactly I'm saying because you want to take bits and pieces and utilize it and say, oh, that's a threat, or that's you making it sound like you're going to aggressively do something when nobody here has even presented that type of energy. Here we are just peacefully protesting. There's kids outside that are saying that they don't want to go to school because you allow AR-15s to be in the hands of anybody as if we're going to war on the regular streets day to day. So,
yep.
I mean, it is what it is, bro. It's really bad. And ultimately, the true fact of the matter is at least the white lady, and forgive me for not knowing her name,
Gloria
literally
Johnson
said, you know why I was able to keep my job. I at least condone her for that, for keeping it real.
Yep. All right. CB?
I mean, that's like some of the most keeping it real that I've seen, at least recently. But this is disheartening still. You know what I mean? He, I think, said plenty, so I don't need to stay on here too long. But you know, the key word being peaceful protest here, and we know the subject matter for what was being protested. So, you know, a lot of people, it's just people telling on themselves again and again and again,
Yep.
like using any opportunity that they can. And it's ridiculous to compare a peaceful protest to the insurrection, especially if the people bringing it up to compare it were the ones saying, oh, it wasn't that bad in the first place. So, you know, you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? So, again, this is disheartening. It's good to see at least they have been reinstated to a certain degree at this point. But, you know, it's obvious what is going on here. You know what I mean? And it sucks.
Right. Kenny.
Yeah, man. I mean, y'all pretty much kind of hit the nail in the coffin. I'll just kind of say, like, I love the country we live in. I will say that, right? But we're not judged and graded on the same scale because the color of our skin, sadly, right? So, not to switch gears, something small as the whole, or something big now that blew up the whole Angel Reese thing, the whole in your face, you know, pilot thing. When Shawty did it, what Finesse 2 times say it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Right.
So it's like, you know, we're not on the same scale. And shout out to Gloria for actually stating it publicly, like, hey, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know why I got my job because of the color of my skin. You know what I mean? It's like, it's sad because, you know, like Dr. King said years ago, we should be judged on the content of our character, not the color of our skin. So we just got to move different, and like, it's power in numbers. So if you're doing a peaceful protest, you're not harming nobody, and you're doing everything, which is an amendment, like, what's the problem? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just sad. It's sad that we in 2023 dealing with problems that we dealt with years ago. And if we riot, then we're hooligans and thugs and animals. If we protest, oh no, don't do that. But oh, forbidden what happened when they ran up in the Capitol a year or two ago. You know what I mean? So it's just, look, I'm saying this, be fair across the board when it comes to these issues and topics. It's like, I want to be judged like my counterparts are being judged. You know what I mean? So even something that's like having hair, like in corporate America, like I've had hair for years or whatever. Don't judge me because of my hair and my locks. Like, am I doing the job? How's my resume? What's my experience? I can go on for days, but you know what I mean?
No, I get it. I get it.
Those are the things I just wish we could just do better at. And you know, and while I'm on a hair thing, man, sign that Crown Act. It's a law and act Crown Act to protect people from hair and discrimination. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. Do your thing when it comes to any occupation you in, and your hair shouldn't play a part, which goes back to the skin color thing. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. Look, now I get it. Hey, look, it took me a while, as you can see, what I got going on, the beard and the hair. I work in a very strict environment. Well, it's laxed up a little bit to the point where, I mean, I work around, me and CB work around a lot of people who play around with money all day. And, sometimes they don't, they have a very strict way of how you thinking, or how they used to think, or how you should look when you play around or protect other people's money. It's always, a suit and tie, and you come, buttoned up, and that they weren't used to that. And then when I slowly but surely started, testing the waters a little bit, I mean, look, it was nervous. I was nervous at first, but then you start to get validation here and there from some of the higher ups. Say, hey, I like what you're doing. That's pretty cool. Then from there, you're in. But it's always now.
Started a moccasin trend in the old office.
Yeah. Oh my! Look, I was wearing moccasins.
This is what he's talking about.
It's all kind of stuff.
Going into board meetings with moccasins on.
Doing it. And then all of a sudden, I had the cornrows in, and that was it. And then now, look, in the new environment, me and CB, us being the sneakerheads, like we're wearing like real sneakers and colorways in that office, and people come out of their way to look to see what we're wearing.
Right. And see, that's what's up. And I commend y'all for that, because I personally feel like it takes y'all. It takes brothers like y'all or brothers like me to do that and change the mode. Like, I have tattoos everywhere, but it's like, are you gonna judge me based on my tattoos? Like, man, look, have a 5-minute conversation. Let's have some dialogue. I see what you're about. You see what I'm about. Then you can judge me. And if your assessments matches up what you think I am, then cool. But if it don't, then that's how you do it. Like, I'm not judging the guy with the bald head. You know how they have half the hair and still got. I'm not judging y'all. Hey, rock out. You know what I mean? Keep your half hair, half not hair.
The question I want to know is why? Why are you holding on to that? What is in you? Why is that? Okay, whatever. But closing out on this subject, I'm going to say we all know why a lot of these decision makers won't stand up for the gun violence or taking these guns off the streets. Is because who's padding those pockets in those campaigns, and who's really pulling the strings. And we all know the NRA. I mean, next to GOD, the NRA is what has the politics under wraps.
Yep.
So, sometimes I question if these people have conscience, because these could be your kids. These could be, your family members that's working there, and this situation happens, but you won't stand up for it.
I don't remember which politician it was, not to cut you off.
No.
But he was saying something about, keep not making stricter gun laws, something like that. And then they asked him about, like, well, what about when your kids are going to school? Do they feel safe? And he was like, oh, I have to admit, they're homeschooled. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, these guys, they're out here saying, yeah, no, fuck them kids, because my kids are at home. Like whatever.
Crazy. So, speaking of kids, it's a good transition to the next story. And before we get into as we transition to the story, I want to say I am so glad that there are dumb people out there that have to record their every move, or record the dumb shit that they do and put it on their phones, and somehow you send it to somebody, or it leaks, somehow ends up off your phone and becomes national headlines because you are that dumb. So this next story is about Kayla Greenwell. She's in our backyard, CB and Kenny.
Like, dang.
She is, because this story takes place in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Rivertown, that part of Oxon Hill, Maryland. Kayla Greenwell is a former employee of a daycare provider that's over there in that pocket. And a video last Thursday or Friday hit social media. Notice I said social media, not the news outlets. The new news outlets and social media. Right? Excuse me. And there's a video of her, several videos put into a collage of her mistreating other people's kids to the point where she's kicking the chair out from underneath one of them. One of them is napping and she does something. She like tosses them to the ground, just abusing other people's kids or abusing kids in general. Doesn't matter if it's her kids or other people's kids. She's abusing children. People who can't defend themselves or stand up for themselves and don't know better, don't know better in a lot of these situations. But this 23-year-old adult should, right? Now, when they talked to the daycare, she passed every single test that there was, background check for her to become an employee. And yet, this still happens. This doesn't come out of nowhere. You just don't pick up one day and just decide you're going to start abusing children. This is a learned behavior. Lives within you, and it has probably happened prior to these videos leaking. But anyways, once it hit social media swiftly, next thing you know, the news apparently had it. They were doing the background on it before they released the story, but then they had to. Once social media blew up, and social media is quick, they had to put the story out.
You don't have to fact check on social media.
No, because most of the people on the site that I saw it at knew who she was, knew where her new employment was, and they was telling people to go get her. Like, you don't want street justice to get involved. So, because that can happen too on social media. Mm-hmm. Now, within 24 hours of the video being released on national news, they locked her up. So, now, and one thing we all know about the prison system is most of them don't like people who abuse children. They'll put up a lot of other things, but when you go in there and you've got that hanging over your head as why you're here, you've done something to a child, typically they don't fly right in prisons. So, said a lot. Let's get your opinions on the story. Let's go ahead and start with you, Kenny.
I mean, for me, it broke my heart, man. I'm just gonna come clean. My wife sent it to me. I wasn't aware of it. My wife had sent it to me, and I looked at it. I was at work, and I just couldn't believe it. My mouth hit the floor. And hence the fact Kenny's characters. I love kids. That's why I started my business, because of kids and my toddler, my baby girl. So, like I stated earlier, I have all girls. So for me, it hit a soft spot, and not just for me having kids. Even if I didn't have kids, I just simply love kids. They're innocent, they're pure, and they can't defend themselves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so for her to do that to them kids and multiple kids, it was just sad. It was sad, and I'm glad that she was found within 24 hours and brought to justice. But I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't want to blame it on mental health, because I don't play with mental health at all. Mm-hmm. So it's like if something was wrong with her, I hope she does get the help that she needs. But it's just sad, and I pray for her, but it's wrong what she did, and it's no excuse. Like I said, I don't know her mental state. That does know that play a part with some people. So, but it's just sad. It was just sad.
Gotcha. CB.
Yeah, no, Kenny laid it out pretty well. Definitely a sad situation. For y'all that know me at all, you guys know that my two best friends in the world are my baby niece and nephew. So, one of those things where, like their lives they mean more than mine. You know what I mean? So these are not the kind of stories that we also like to see about our area being on national news. It never ends up being anything positive. And this is it's disheartening because Kaleo, like you said, there's no way this was the first time that she's done something like this. This was just probably the first time that she was stupid enough to be recording it. And then if she was trying to go viral, she did. So, I got no sympathy for people that abuse kids. I think we're all on the same page as far as that goes. But man, another story that just makes you lose a little bit of faith in humanity, just a tiny bit every time.
Yep.
The crazy part is, we keep saying that this happened before, or this has had to happen at another daycare. When Pops was, at the church back in Maryland, in Hyattsville, we had a daycare out in Oxon Hill, matter of fact. And, I worked there for that, at the aftercare, but there was cameras in there, and the director has the video footage of every room. So I'm thinking there's going to be more fallout to this. What other institutions has she been at, and how long did they cover up that she was doing that to these kids, knowing that, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but we all know that daycare is a crazy industry as far as money is concerned, and they will do anything to make sure that these daycares stay open because the catastrophic that comes behind just one of these stories, I'm sure the mother daycares that she worked at is probably sitting there trying to figure out, we got to do something because it's going to eventually, our name is going to be in the news, as far as her previous employment, the parents is going to be asking, they knew what room she was in, the whole nine. So, this thing is one of those, it's really tough, Brian. And you hate to see us doing it to us. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not what we do. You know what I mean? That's the shit that really bothers me is like, come on, girl. Like, we got it hard enough. And you going to sit here and traumatize these little kids. They, like you said, like Kenny said, they're pure, man. But this is the shit that alters their livelihood. And then next thing you know, we wondering why they school shootings or why they taking their life at an early age. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not the shit that we were doing. Our parents say all the time.
This is definitely bullying, by the way. This is bullying.
Our everybody on here, parents that say this right now, man, they be like, we wasn't even thinking about going out. We wasn't even thinking about taking ourselves out. We had more pride about who we were and being black, bro. And it's just like, don't worry, Kenny. CB is all the way black. It's just he's got a very light-skinned tan going on. Because he knows if we ever get pulled over, he got to get out the car. Just with
CB got to have a story too. You got to have a story.
But no, I mean that that's what it is. Like it's crazy to read that shit, man. And like I said, she definitely gonna get dealt with in the prison system. So
yeah, and as a parent, the one thing you have to do, in which is hard enough to do because we all have to work at some point. We have to trust these people with our kids. It's a trust factor. Now, if I can't trust where I'm sending this is one of the main things. Like when my daughter goes to before and after care, I have to trust these people with her livelihood. Trust that she's putting her seatbelt on when she gets on a bus. Trust that she's going to school. When she's at school, I have to trust these teachers. That's a lot. For me to still have an 8-hour, 9-hour day of my own and have to worry about that, trust.
Yeah.
All right. So we are here. We are something else, episode 167, 89 Earthquake. And we are back with our Black Business series. We got a first comment. Yo, Be Easy. Welcome to the show, bro. Welcome to the show. That's our brother. All right. And we got my man Kenny here from Kenny's Characters. And tonight is all about Kenny's character. So we're gonna let me just show this graphic first. Boom.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man. I ain't know you was gonna have a collage for me, man.
Man, no. Look, this is what we do. This is how look. Black Business series. Now we gotta make sure people know what the product is, right? So let me set this up right because I got a whole new camera angle that we messing with right now. I'm gonna do the drop the lights a little bit. There we go.
Oh yeah, okay. Let me make sure we get my good side.
So we are here with Black Business Series guest Kenny from Kenny's Characters. I'm gonna lead the questions off.
Gotcha.
And I know that I saw your bio, and I saw that you did some of the voices on Russ Parr back in the day, and now that you do the character. So, my first question: what got you into wanting to do the voice impressions that got you into Russ Parr?
Man, to be honest with you, it started when I was little, marking or imitating my mother's and dad friends. They would come to the house and I'd be on the couch and I'm just hearing their voices and I'm like, oh, I could do that voice, but I didn't think nothing of it as far as it being a talent, you know what I mean? So as you get older and older, I want to say when I got to middle school, DMX is my favorite rapper or whatever, and I would always imitate him and Kenmore. And people are like, man, how do you sound just like him? So I'm thinking like, well, he's my favorite rapper. It's easy, but they're like, nah, bro, you got something. So time went on. I just kept doing different people like Lil Wayne Bernie Mac, like just people who I felt like I was fan of first, and then try to see if I can get the diction in their voice, if it's high, low, deep, and play around with it. And then I was like, okay, if people think I sound like it, then I thumbs up, because people will tell you like, nah, I don't sound like it. So
quick, and it's mainly us. Quick,
right.
I don't sound like him. What was that?
Exactly. So and that's kind of how I started. And the Russ Parr thing kicked off because I was going to the radio stations, like passing out my demo, and just was trying to be an on-air personality / voice actor. So Russ had brought me on, and and the rest is history. I got to meet like 50 Cent, Rick Ross, T-Pain, did skits with countless celebrities, and 50 Cent. 50 Cent was probably the coolest celebrity I met, because when I was impersonating him, he didn't know. He was like, who was this dude sounding like me or whatever? So I came in the room and he was like, that was you? So, so what I mean? And then fast forward Kenny's characters, Mickey Mouse, like I talk as Elmo and Mickey when I do those characters, but nobody else that I know offer that kind of like perk with their characters. So I can talk to kids, and have some fun. They asking me questions like, hey, where's Goofy, Donald, and everybody? And I'm like, they back at the clubhouse, So yes, it's cool, man. Like I said, I love the kids, but the voices started when I was little, just playing around
CE.
I guess to build on that, how did it become like a business thing? You had mentioned earlier, your baby girl and everything. So how did you then transition doing the voices to then starting a business of your own?
Oh, cool. So so me and my wife had our daughter together, and when she turned 1, I had bought like this, the cheesiest, corniest, cheapest Mickey Mouse costume, and tried it on and like surprised her, but she was crying. So I'm like, oh man. So then I started talking as Mickey, and then just doing like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse song and all of that. So it calmed her down. So I was like, hold up, I might got something here. So I did my research and like looked up like quality mascots. I rebought the real Mickey Mouse costume, got rid of the old one, and then built from there. Just started getting more characters. And I got Elmo next, and then Paw Patrol, and then Buzz Lightyear. I have a unicorn one. Like I said, Elmo. And just kind of went from there. And then what I did was just started to market myself. And people that knew me, they knew I love kids, and I'm a personality in itself. So I'm like, okay, if I'm under the mascot, you're going to get Kenny's personality just in a mascot form, if that makes sense. Because I'm bubbly anyway, you know what I mean? So, and just kind of bring, like, I'm not the boring mascot that comes and wave and take a picture. I'm going to dance and have fun, and we could salsa, we could nay, whatever you want to do, I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do all of that. So, that's it started from that 1-year-old, my baby girl. She kicked it off, and she knows and realizes that now. So that's funny too. But yeah, that's how I started.
Dope.
So one of the questions, like I said, dealing with kids, there's always going to be, it's the kids, and then it's the parents. The parents always got something to say. So I got to ask the question, what is the biggest setback, or one of the biggest things that you usually have to deal with, whether it's the party in itself, or is it the actual kind of behind the scenes type situation? Like what's the biggest kind of thing that you see, the obstacle that you got to deal with when doing the parties?
I think I would say 2. I got 2 for you. I would say probably sometimes the price point is if people can try to tell me how to price my product or price my services, which I'm very cheap, by the way. That's probably the first thing. And then the second thing is like the ultimate question is like, hey, what do I get? What do you do? I'm like, well, hey, you do know you're getting me in this costume. It's going to be super hot inside. I'm going to entertain, take pictures, and dance. Like, that's what you get. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they want like this whole thing, and it's like, well, I don't offer any other thing. This is what I'm offering, what you're getting. But when they book me, they be like, oh, I get it. I'm like, yeah, like if you try to stay in a costume for 10 minutes, let me know how that work for you. But I'm in there for, you can't book me if you don't book a minimum of an hour. So I'm in there an hour at least. So it's I'm used to it, but it's not nothing to play with. You have to hydrate, drink your water. Like for example, my wife, I had 3 parties on one day. So I did 2, and I let my wife do 1. So my wife went to go do Baby Shark. When I got home that night, she was like, babe, I don't know how you do it. Like, she was just so hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's you respect it more when you do it. So right. Those are 2 things I would say.
Absolutely. So okay, now I got two questions because that brought up one. Do any of these costumes have a fan? I know, like in amusement parks, some of them have like the internal fans to keep them cool. Do any of your costumes have fans?
Well, no, they don't have a fan, but what I did was I bought this like vest and I put these ice packs inside of them. So that kind of helped for the first 15 minutes. And then after that, it's just pure fun, adrenaline, and I'm going off of that. And I'm usually okay. But what I do is I hydrate, and I keep Gatorade in the car. So usually when I get back to the car, I'm hydrating immediately, and then prior to it, I'm drinking lots of water, and I'm usually pretty good to go.
Gotcha. Okay. So my question is, what is your most popular character?
I would say Mickey and Elmo, but hands down Mickey. Like Mickey, it's like the generational character who lived from when y'all parents, my parents, you know what I mean. So
Yep.
yeah, Mickey just transcends everything. So yeah, I would say Mickey. Then probably second to be Elmo.
Gotcha.
So we one of our early Black Business Series guests, shout out to Patty Cake Piper. She had mentioned that because she bakes, that she's baked for like some celebrities and things like that. Have you ever done a show for whether they be a celebrity or like a local personality, anything like that? Any worthwhile stories of you being booked and getting to perform?
Yeah, I wouldn't say not celebrity interaction. It was one I forget. I'm mad. I can't remember the gentleman's name because he was a young or is a young up and coming rapper from DC. I just forgot his name, but he didn't book me. His girlfriend, I believe, booked me. But when I got there, I kind of recall seeing his face like on IG. I'm like, oh, he's somebody. But I just cannot think of what his name is. I feel bad, but yeah, his girl had booked me, so that was the closest I would say. So I would say local talent, but yeah, no A-list celebrities or big celebrities, nothing like that.
It's a little bit different. She's playing out there in LA, so it's not quite the same playing field, I would guess.
Oh yeah, right.
We got a request from one of the guests in the audience who wants to know if you can do Elmo.
Say it again.
She wants to know if you can do Elmo.
Elmo. Oh yeah. Okay. So what I could do. So when I'm doing Elmo, like what I do. If you know the Elmo song, so I'm like la 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 la. It's Elmo's world. Elmo slide. Come on, let's do the Elmo slide. Hey. Oh. La, 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 la.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow,
That's crazy.
That's incredible, man.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, they like, man, they trip out because they say, how you do that? How you make your voice so low? And I mean, I have a deep voice, but not too deep. But yeah, it's just certain dictions you do with your vocal cords,
That's awesome.
and, go up and down. So that's how I do it.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. Through all the characters that you've done, and you're mimicking, you're kind of doing those. Did it ever come to mind to create your own, like your own character, or because I noticed a lot of times either artists or whatever, they kind of create their own person, right, their own line, and then it's strictly because of their kids, right? Like their kids are always the inspiration of, I got to figure out what it is that they like, so have you ever thought about doing like your own like Kenny character in itself to kind of brand that?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's funny you said it. I promise I have thought about it because I wanted to get like a custom mascot, like with the locks, with the my locks or whatever, and have it look like me. I just couldn't get over the hump, and I probably still would do it at some point. I couldn't get over the hump of like how would I do it as far as character, as far as that voice. So I think once I get the voice and the story behind the character, then I can do it. Because I wouldn't want it to be, how can I say? I wouldn't want it to be like it'd be me, it'd be Kenny, but not Kenny. More so Kenny in like another world. So I would have to get that voice down packed, then everything I think will follow suit, and then I'll probably promote it as such. But yeah, I have thought about it. I definitely want to get a custom mascot that favors me and look like me. So
that's dope. No,
that would be dope.
All right, so I gotta know. You might have an answer for me, you might not have an answer for me. Wildest party you've done, one that sticks out in your mind.
Yeah. It was a party I did out in Annapolis, Maryland. It was like a festival type of thing. And so I'm walking back to the parking lot. I had to tell my wife, prior to the picture being posted. So I'm walking back to the parking lot as the Mickey, got Mickey costume on, before I get to my car, because I only take the costume off when I get to my car. So I'm walking, like 5 girls just run up on me. Like one girl starts twerking. I'm like, ho. So I'm as Mickey trying to like back up, like, like relax. So she get the twerking, cameras are out. They're like, hey, Mickey. I'm like, yo. But it was, what I mean? And so I got a hold of the pictures. Like, I'll try to send you the picture.
Oh my god!
And then like I'm just like this, like, but she's in front of me, like just like bent over. I'm like, it's not good. So I tell my wife, I said, hey, it wasn't me, it was Mickey.
Yeah.
But that was the wildest I've ever experienced. Like,
That's hilarious.
Go ahead, Stevie.
I guess what is like the planning process? Are you usually booking 2-3 shows a day? How do you normally plan out your schedule?
Yeah, so for me, man, I usually do, because I'm a 9-to-5 guy as well. So I typically do parties on the weekend. Now I have done parties on weekdays, depending on the time, like when I get off and stuff. So I can do, maybe 2 to 3, 4 a month, and sometimes it's like, no parties at all. So it really just depends on like the business I have coming in. So like, for example, I haven't done one in about maybe 2 months or something. Like my last party was Elmo, and that was out Oxon Hill. It was in Oxon Hill. So yeah, I just kind of go with the flow. I post and promote, and when I'm booked, people usually book me like a month or 2 out. But then sometimes I'll get like that rush, like, oh, I'm sorry, it's last minute. Can you come Saturday? And I'll do it. It's no problem. Like, if I'm free and I can get to you, I'll come pull up professional and get you out the way, have a good time, and we can make it happen. Only time I can't do it is if you like hit me the day of, if I have plans with my family. It's kind of hard to maneuver around
that. All right, so I gotta ask this question, and Kenny, I need you to be honest, bro. I really need you to be honest with this one. All right.
No problem.
What's your favorite character to do? But then what's your least favorite to do? And what's the actual, like, is the drawback of doing the voice for so long, and what's your recovery time? Like, if you notice, like, it changes your vocals and stuff like that, because I know that can be taxing on you. Like, it's like you said, if you're doing an hour of that, not saying that you're talking the whole time, but how does that affect you, towards the end of the day?
Yeah, that's actually a really great question. I've never been asked that before. So the favorite I would say is Mickey, and doing the Mickey voice is cool, but like you said, it does. I get really hoarse, so that's why I get like either Gatorade or water ASAP. So I would say that's for your first question, and then the second one, I do not like. And forgive me for saying that if somebody's saying this and want to book me for it, I will do the character, but Buzz Lightyear. For me, I have to take my oldest daughter with me, because I can't put all the Buzz Lightyear stuff on. It's just so huge, far as like the arms and the legs, and it's like the worst. Like I just got to the point now where I can like see through it comfortably, because like now I put my hair up and like pull it all the way down, but it's like woof. I really want to like go up in the pricing for that, and when I get booked for Buzz, but I say, you know what? Let me just keep it the same. But yeah, Buzz Lightyear is the worst.
That makes sense.
Okay. So name all the characters you do again, and then are you looking to add any more characters to your repertoire that you do?
Okay, yeah, for sure. So I have Mickey, Elmo, Minnie, Baby Shark, Chase, Buzz Lightyear, a unicorn, like a standard, just like unicorn white with all the colors. And I feel like I'm missing one. Yeah, that's a Baby Shark. Yeah, that's it. And I'm looking to add Cocomelon. I'm looking to add, I keep hearing about this Grace's Corner. I want to add that one. I want to add Mario and Luigi, and I want to add Sonic. Those are the ones that it's on my radar as of now. But if I get more requests, what I do is I try to look for what people ask for, but I'm really big on quality. So I'm not about to get the Party City Amazon costume. Like,
Absolutely.
I get all quality. Like, if you see the pictures, everyone is on point. Quality, high quality costumes. So if I see it and it's not quality, I won't buy it. I won't get it. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, I do have the Grinch as well. So I have the Grinch. I see you put the picture up. Yeah, the Grinch as well.
Yeah, you got Paw Patrol in here too.
Yes, I got Chase. Yeah.
Oh, Chase, you did say Chase. Oh wow, the Grinch. That Grinch one is awesome.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, that's actually that's like one of my favorite ones to do. As far as photo shoots, people book me for that to like scare their kids.
That was popular. That's a popular one.
Yeah. I was about to say there's no way you're going to the Halloween store, Party City, to look that good, for the party. So I was wondering, like, what's the market for the costumes? Like, is there a general place where you can go? Because like you mentioned, like those are heavy duty. Those are not like your standard run of the mill. You're going to Walmart and finding that on the rack,
Right, I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Yeah. So what I do is I tend to stick with the same seller, and he's actually on eBay. It's a few more as far as marketplace. There's some on Facebook as well, but you got to be careful because sometimes they'll try to scam you. So what they'll do is I found they'll put like an authentic picture, but they won't put what they have. So what I like to do is the eBay seller, I say, hey, write down the date and the time and let me see that physical costume. I don't want to see a stock picture. So once I built that rapport with the gentleman, I don't have to do that no more because he's like official. So he's the one I typically go with. And because like they'll try to sell you some BS, man, and they'll post a picture saying that it's something else, and you get something, you'd be upset. So
yeah,
Last question I got, bro, is I noticed you said that your wife did one of the parties, and it's cool. Like it sounds like it's business is good, and definitely shout out to. Man, that she even was up for the challenge, because like you said, like you just describing being in a damn costume for an hour already sounds like a 2-a-day to me with the damn football equipment on, right? But do you see this as something that you can pass down to like your daughters, or something that they might want to take on, or do you feel like this may eventually run its course in the sense of at some point Kenny's gonna get old and gotta stop. But if I have my daughters that kind of really look into this or look up to me in that sense, that we make people happy, it's a community thing. I believe the Black business on that side in itself is Black voiceovers, things of that nature. Like we don't see that, and you actually have a face, and your daughters can be the one that it. Like I know that as a kid back in, everybody used to have that one where, what does your parents do? Mm-hmm. You would be the first one where people would be like, they'd be like, what? Your daddy does what? Yeah, right. And then you come in and you kill it, and everybody it's like almost seeing somebody who, it's almost like what's my man's name? James Earl Jones. Like we all know that that's his voice, right? But clearly we ain't gonna never see him. But it's like they can see Kenny, right? Like they like, yo, that's your pops. Like you know what I mean? So like I'm saying that in the sense of, do you see that you would want to grow this as a family business, because you really have a niche that I feel like a lot of people aren't running into?
Yeah, once again, great question. I appreciate that. Yes, I do actually. And the fact that my wife is such my number one supporter. Like when I do Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse as combo, obviously she's Minnie and I'm Mickey. So funny story with that, because she don't talk as Minnie and I'm talking as Mickey. So the kids are like, hey, why Minnie not talking? But I do think it's one of the things I pass out to my girls or whatever, and let them like run it if they choose to. I wouldn't want to force it on them, but they have fun. I bring them out with me. They all see me and work. They see me work hard, my 9 to 5, and do the side thing, and they see it. So I think they would like to do it. Or be a part of it at some point more and more. Like I said, my oldest, she comes with me when I do Buzz, and our middle baby girl got to see me in action when I did Mickey at her grandmother's event in I think Virginia like a year or two ago. So they all got to see me at work, and I think they still amazed because they're like, yo, how do you do this? Like you're like a big kid, but you're a man. So I think it could definitely keep it going. Hopefully it is.
How are you this person and my dad? What?
Exactly. All right. So before we transition, let everybody know where they can find you. Give us your price points. How far in advance do we need to book you? Just everything people need to know, how they can find you again in price points. Because birthday parties are getting ready to happen outdoors because we're getting into the warm weather. So go ahead and shout yourself out.
Nah, definitely. Like I said, once again, I want to thank all y'all for having me on, for even giving me the time to do this on the platform. So thanks to y'all. But yeah, you can find me on Facebook. Literally just type in Kenny's Characters as business, verified business. It's gonna come up. You can see the reviews. videos, pictures. I don't have one negative review. And once again, I can't edit reviews. If it's there, like it'll be there, so you can see all that on there as well. And actually, even my regular page, my Ken and Fox page, I do business through there as well. But the professional pages is Kenny's Characters. Or my email, kenny8503@gmail.com. I answer those as well. But yeah, man, I'm online and I'm very accessible. My response time to messaging is super fast. You won't have to wait not even under 10 minutes. Like I'm very fast because I have the obviously Messenger app on my phone, so I'm pretty quick with the response. So
for sure. All right, so look, we gave you
one more thing. The price point. So
that's right.
This is the easiest thing, and I think the best thing. Only $160 an hour. $160 an hour, and I don't charge mileage. Only way I charge mileage fees if you live like really, really far out, like VA, or really, really far in Baltimore or something like that. Then I charge a $20 flat fee, which brings you to $180. So it's still cheap compared to, like I said, other counterparts when you look at their prices and stuff. And don't forget, I do the voice, so you getting that aspect or that perk as well. So yeah,
that's dope. All right,
that's a real experience.
That's dope, man. Look, shout out to Kenny and Kenny's Characters, y'all.
Appreciate y'all, man.
We ain't going nowhere yet. You ain't going nowhere yet.
I'm here.
Okay, just making sure. I gave you some homework.
You did.
And this is part of the show where we dive deeper into our guests, because we love this. The show was founded on music and movies. Me and CB having these conversations, obviously sneakers too, but we'll get to the sneakers. But we're here about movies, and I'm always interested to know we are always interested to know what our guests' top 3 movies of all time and top 3 albums of all time are. And it's a hard question because people can give you 10 easily, maybe 5 easily, but 3 out of your lifetime, 3. So let's start with your movies. Because I'm always intrigued by the album. So let's top 3 movies of all time.
Yeah, I'm going to preface this by saying that my 3 I'm about to say, it'll probably change tomorrow. But like you said, it's hard. It's a hard question, but I'm not going to even take too much time. I'm going to go through them. So the first one for me, this one never changed. Menace to Society. So Menace to Society is one of my favorite movies. Like, I just love Old Dog, his character, Lorenz Tate, how he put it down. That's my movie. So Menace to Society, Love Jones, number 2. And then I will go with Life with Eddie
Murphy. Okay.
So I will go with those 3.
And I don't know if we've heard. I know we heard Life before. I don't know if we've heard Menace to Society or Love Jones. Those are 3 good ones. Okay, let's do the albums. Let's do these albums now. Top 3 albums of all time.
Hey, look back. Once again, I'm gonna preface it will change. But I gotta go. Tupac, Me Against the World. Love that album. I gotta go. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. DMX, my favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, baby, you know what I mean? Love my niggas, but where's my love my niggas, but where's my and then I gotta go with the Black Album, Hove. Gotta go with Hove.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
That's a solid. Those
are solid projects.
Both the movies and the albums, like
solid projects.
Kenny took the homework serious.
Yeah. But you know what? Hold on. You know what you have to take serious. Now, we talked about parties, and Kenny provides the characters. Look, when you have these parties, you want y'all to go to Grant and have Grant provide the pizza. Now, Kenny, I know you're in this DC area. If you've never had DC Shy Pie, Chicago deep dish, black-owned business. He was one of our guests. DC Shy Pie. Use our 10% discount code WRSE10. Shout out to Grant, all the Shy Pie family. Look, Kenny, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go through the rundown real quick. So they got like a steak and cheese pizza deep dish. They got a salmon pesto. Then they got like a sausage pepperoni. And then if you don't like deep dish, they got the gyro pizza, the Georgetown. It's a gyro pizza. Then you got the Big Chair, which is fried chicken and mambo sauce. Then they got like drop the bomb bread pudding. So
that look good.
Shout out to DC Shy Pie. Use our discount code WRSE10. The DC Shy Pie, official pizza of the We Are Something Else podcast. Now, Kenny, you met Eric E. Rich. And I don't know what your thought process of how this guy maneuvers thus far is, but after this, it might change. I just want to give you a preference.
Well, in the let me start off. Kenny, like I said, appreciate you being on here. If you haven't seen the show or the segment, this segment is called "Is It Just E?" because unfortunately, I have a very unpopular opinion about a lot of things that people really think, but they just don't want to say it. Till this day, I have a lot of hate mail, if you will, about the fact that I said lemon pepper wings are trash.
That's actually funny because I love lemon pepper.
Oh, no, you already. Oh, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the premise of the entire
garlic parmesan and lemon pepper. That's my favorite. I'm sorry, E.
Listen, it got to the point where I printed up shirts where it's literally lemon pepper wings trash, right?
That is hilarious.
I feel that way, right? So that lets you know, and stuff like Taco Bell is better than Chipotle, but we're not going to go there, right? We just say the things that people don't want to say. But in this segment, we like to keep it close to the topic and our guests. And because you're on here, I would like to start off this section of Is It Just E, highlighting the Black voice actors, right? So you have, the Cree Summers, you have the Regina Kings. I mean, you have the Nichelle Nichols, the Isaac Hayes, the Lance Riddick, rest in peace, he just passed away. Yep. I mean, we have a bunch of them. And I think really, having the understanding that, there's so many of us that are in this industry. And even though it's a faceless industry in the sense that because you're playing a character or you're just voiceover and you're not seeing the person's face, that I encourage, us, our kids to know that these are people that look like us and that they can do it and they can really have a good sustaining career with the Black voiceovers. And again, we've done some of the major movies, cartoons, just everything you could think of. We actually have a footprint on it. Now, with that being said, now is where it goes a little north. Okay, it goes a little south. And as you can see in the illustration, I just have to get this off my chest because, Disney, let me see, we're not on ESPN. They haven't signed us yet, so I can say this now. Right. But Disney portrayed 3 particular young ladies in the light that I'm not sure that we really dove into. And so this segment of Is It Just E is we're going to break down these 3 characters. You have Ariel, you have Belle, and you have Cinderella. Now, we're just going to break down who they really were. Ariel, unfortunately, she wanted to become human just so she can get some ding ding. And listen, so she decided that it was not worth being a mermaid anymore just to really go after this person that, I mean, it was really a crapshoot. You know what I mean? Like if it didn't work, then what? You know what I'm saying? She was right. Now you got legs. Now you got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Before you were singing and having all kind of fun.
Walk off to your 9 to 5.
You know what I mean? Now listen, Belle, I just think that people have a different idea of what she like. Her background was somebody, book smart, just, kind of really about whatever. And she was looking for a certain thing. And it wasn't until somebody with some damn money came through and she was like, you know what? I think I might. Belle might have been the first city girl that was like, you know what? I think okay, I know you're not looking on that, but this house, okay, you got singing shit going on. Okay, this might be legit.
She chose up, huh?
She did. Real quick. He was choosing. That's what I'm saying. That book, that whole look, she was really choosing. She knew what she was doing. Everybody can see. Like, look at Belle's picture. Belle's picture is very obvious that she really holding something behind that damn clothes and that little hair behind. And as soon as she put on something else, it was like, that ain't the same chick that was holding the book. It ain't. But listen, Cinderella, she probably is the most authentic. You talking about having siblings that didn't care about her, kicking her to the curb. She was literally out here scrubbing floors. And just really getting it from the dirt, if you will. And when it was all said and done, she knew that at the end of the day, I'm taking my ass back home, even after all this fun. So Cinderella's got to be the GOAT when it comes to the ladies out here. So I just want to just highlight in the Is It Just E? Don't be fooled by it just because, she's singing in the water and Bella doing the thing. Like, Cinderella really the GOAT out here. So what are your thoughts?
Damn. That was funny, man. That's funny. Hey, you got some AE. I like your style, man. You got some interesting takes, man. I like your style, man.
Appreciate it.
That's
so. So he privied me to this early because we had to work through some things, and my reaction is still the same. You just look at Disney movies a little different now that you know like who these women are true at heart. I can't even argue with some of these points as an adult. Go ahead, TV.
I mean, you also, as an adult, you actually learn what the real stories are that these are based off of, and you end up realizing that some of these aren't even like, they don't even have happy endings. Like they're tragic and all this kind of stuff, but they've been spun around. You literally put a fresh coat of paint on it, and you've got these classics from our childhood. But yeah, nah, man, that's freaking hilarious, bro. The first city girl to really.
all I gotta say is, if you ever seen Up, the first 10 minutes of Up is not for kids. Every adult watch the first 10 minutes up, and you're like, this shit is tragic.
Yeah, right.
Shit is. Right. Anyways, it's not tragic. It's just. Now this is where we talk sneakers. All right, CB. What we got for that copper drop this week?
So right before I get into this copper drop, I did just want to bring up another voice actor that I think people might not even realize is, of color, but Christopher Judge, the guy that does the voice of Kratos in God of War.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many people out there actually know that like he was saying, it's one of those things that should be brought more to the forefront. So I want to make sure, because I love those video games. So I've spent, hundreds of hours basically with that man. But the copper drop this week, these release on Saturday. It is the Jackie Robinson Air Force One. We do remember that they did a Jackie Robinson dunk last year. Is one of the better shoes of the year. The details on these are pretty amazing. Remember, they did up the price on the Air Force Ones, and these obviously are a little bit special, so the price point is going to be $120. They got full size and going up to men's size 15. So this is one of those 10 a.m. Saturday drops on sneakers. What are you guys feeling? Are you copping or are you dropping? I think the details are dope. This would be the kind of shoe that if I wouldn't ever wear them. I would just like put them out on a display, with a bunch of the other baseball stuff and just let them be there, because a lot of the details are really cool. As you saw in the photos. So it's not a must cop for me, but I like these shoes a lot. What do you guys think?
These might be a cop. I still want the dunks, but I like the way what they're doing with this.
Shout out to Be Easy for getting the dunks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, these could be a cop.
I want them to be a cop. Clearly, I'm a Dodger fan, so
right.
These definitely go right up my alley out here. And I would actually probably wear them to the game just to definitely flex on everybody. The problem I have is I'm hoping Nike does this better justice on the box than they did with the dunks, because they just gave them a basic ass box.
Just threw them in a brown box.
Yeah, I mean, you want to put all this detail in the shoe, you got to take it all the way to the box, because as sneakerheads, we know what that means. So I might, this might be up my alley.
Right.
Yeah, I would say cop. I really like those. I mean, I'm a sneakerhead. Like I'm literally looking at boxes. I'm in the basement. I love sneakers. But
you came to the right.
You're at home.
Yeah, you're at home. You're at home. You're amongst company.
I feel at home. I definitely feel at home. I would definitely cop those for sure. I may take a stab at it, but like sometimes with these bots, it get a little crazy. But
yeah. All right, so Kenny, you are our guest, and this is Shoe and Tell. This is where we bring on, you can spotlight some. Now, I said you can do shoes, or you could do a character, whatever you want to spotlight. You have the option. Did you want to go first, or do you want to go last?
I should go first, man. I got my unorthodox kick right here. Actually, the reason why I chose these are the Salehi.
Yep.
And I just wore these actually for the first time. I had them for a while, and I really just thought it was unique that I can do this. Like, you just go in the mountains. I went to the up in the cabin out VA with the fellas over the weekend. I had these on, took them off, just stopped doing this. They were like, "Hold on, wait, what? What are you doing?"
That's awesome.
But yeah. But I just love how orthodox they are, man. They like bulky. I love chunky shoes. And so yeah, and the texture of them, it's just a good kick, man. And Salehi, he's one of my favorite black designers. I love Salehi, so I chose these to show.
We got to get Kenny on Soul Tales.
Sure.
I will think what Soul Tales is in a second. Go ahead. E.
And we won't tell you about the Salehi name drop that happened on here one time that got us recognized by Salehi because of some words that maybe some of us said about a said shoe that he came out with. But
man.
Right? It was the Croc, right? Was that the Croc?
Yeah. No, it was the Croc, and it was the shoe after that where Ricardo said it looked like Big Tooth's foot.
His teeth. Bigfoot's teeth.
Yeah.
That was the same shoe you just showed.
Yeah, the yurt.
Yeah. And he was anyway. I'm going here. CB definitely showed it last week. I'm showing it this week. If you know what that box is, you know what we're talking about. The number one shoe that I definitely was on some juju about this year was the Big Bubble Air Max 1, the OG.
Let's go.
Again, I got, unfortunately, like I said, until they cut a check, I can say fuck the sneaker app because they keep on the L's. Right now, Kith is definitely killing it. Kith, holla at me. I'm tagging them on everything just because I know we're gonna do something together. But the Big Bubble for sure. I can't wait for some other colorways to come out. And again, I mean, you just miss with the OG Air Max 1. So there it is.
There you go, CB.
So I've showed these before, but with the weather the way that it is, and Fomer Simpson just did a review for the pair that he got where he just worn for 10 months. But the weather had me feeling like breaking out some New Balances too. So the Joe Fresh Goods 9060 in the baby shower blue. These have been worn. Because it's team wear your shoes out here. But
yes, it is.
Exactly.
But yeah, along with Kenny, on one of my displays in my room, I got these next to a pair of the Salehis that I got. Because as far as the collabs with New Balance, they're kind of killing it. The materials are always on point, and they show out for the community, both of them. So
yeah, for sure.
They do.
Shout out to New Balance.
All right, so I was contemplating. I didn't know if I showed these on the show or not. If I did, we'll just say act like I didn't, and we're just gonna do it. So not everybody can get their sneaker of the year unless you're CB. Actually, I got my sneaker of the year last year too, but not everybody can get their sneaker of the year. But yeah, I was lucky enough to get a pair.
Oh yeah.
I was able to get. I really, really wanted these. The most simplistic dunk of them all. Well, not really simple, but it was the orange lobster. You can see the detail in the Nike, in the check. They came with 3 laces. You got the blue, which I thought I would wanted the blue off the break. I knew I wasn't gonna do orange on orange, but then you got the white. I think the white was stuck out to me better because it's got like the lobster bib kind of thing on the inside. But so Nike Lobster Dunks was that Complex, right? Was that the who did the special box with them?
Not Complex.
I have my mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, but look, let me tell you what you need when you wear these. definitely get yourself some crease
Some
beats.
crease beats.
Every sneakerhead needs crease beats because one thing we hate is to get the little crease across the top of our shoe.
Concepts.
Concepts. That's what I mean. I don't know.
Idiots.
Some
God damn.
concepts. And it's got look, it's foam. I'm throwing those plastic shits away that you got to cut to mold your foot or mold your shoe.
Yeah.
It's all about crease beats. It's a piece of foam. It goes in this little black sock that goes over top of your sock in your foot. And they have crease beats thin for like the dunks. Like these are hard to put in dunks. You got the thins that go straight into the dunks.
One of these days, I'm going to remember to bring them into this room. And it's, because they are ideal for.
Be easy to know dunks. I had the lobsters. Oh, shit. Yep. Concepts. You're right. Yep. I couldn't remember. I don't know why I said concepts. My mind is all over the place. All right. So before we get out of here, we're right at an hour and 13. It's the longest show of the year. But we've got a lot of stuff to talk about before we get out of here. Where can you find us? Well, today is Thursday, so obviously on Thursdays at 9:30, you can find We Are Something Else on YouTube, live every Thursday. The last Thursday of every month is typically Soul Tales. This is what we were telling you about, Kenny. This is our all sneaker show, all sneaker news, and it's about 6 or 7 of us on the panel. We just talk sneakers, talk shop about sneakers. So I'll send you an invite. Let me know if you're available for one of these shows. Come on, we just chop it up.
Cool.
Fridays, We Are Something Else presents The Abstract on Amp Radio. That's me tomorrow at noon. It's gonna be doing my radio show for about an hour. There's an idea I might do soundtracks, or I might just play music tomorrow on the show. Then tomorrow night, I don't know if Sean Xavier is gonna do exactly on that, but that's around 10:30 or so. Tuesdays, you know what? And I was horrible, guys. This Tuesday I should have dropped episode 3 of Smoking Spiel. It should have been. But anyways, this Tuesday coming up, we will drop episode 3 of Smoking Spiel. It's a movie this go around. I'm gonna try to drop the trailer in the next 2 days. But Smoking Spiel is a movie and music review podcast that I do with Big Mike. And then I'm gonna drop 10 a.m. on YouTube. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Live from the Cheap Seats. My man CB and E Rich right here. They had episode 1 this past week on Amp Radio. But yeah, this is gonna be live from the Cheap Seats. It's a great show. It's about an hour, and then from that hour it leads into our Money Bags, 9 o'clock show, Positive Vibes Only. There's Ricardo right there. Look, Ricardo, man, you just missed the sneaker round. My man showed you your New Balances. And then Monday, Be Easy, 8 p.m. Be Easy Radio. God, exclusive. All right. And then Wednesdays, Sean Xavier Over the Hump at 5 p.m. on Amp Radio. Then E Rich at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Not Me, It's the Music on Amp Radio. So it's a lot of different content. We are dominating the airwaves, your earwaves, all that good stuff. So, but look, as we end tonight, we appreciate you, Kenny, for joining us for our Black Business series. Kenny's characters. We're gonna repost the show. We're gonna put all your information up, so hopefully people will get you for their parties. What is it? Mike over Prince. Get out of here. Get out of it. Fuck niggas. Nice. Get out. Whatever.
Ricardo and E Rich actively make sure the campaign against Jordan Mids, Jordan 1 Mids is
for Mids, whatever. Anyways, but yeah, and there's some. I think there's I don't know what good music came out. That's coming out. So I think Swiss drops at midnight. I don't know anybody else is dropping at midnight, but maybe Swiss. But that's it, y'all. Kenny, stay in the room while we in the show. See y'all next week. We got something else, y'all. 89 Earthquake.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Peace.